Då hälsar vi er välkomna här till dagens webbinar, samtliga återförsäljare partners till oss. Jättekul att så många har valt att tacka ja och vara med här idag. Det är onekligen en spännande tjänst som vi introducerar nu här i Sverige genom oss då som distributör, och support och liknande kommer ju ske som vanligt genom oss. Vi bokar mer än gärna upp en demo efter det här webbinariet, så det går jättebra att höra av sig till oss antingen direkt till sales@gridheart.com eller så kan man höra av sig till sin kontaktperson hos Gridheart ifall man vill få en egen sittning med Augmentt senare. Som sagt kommer jag lämna över här med varm hand till Gavin som kommer ta vid och som sagt berätta mer om det här spännande samarbetet och framförallt hur de har byggt Augmentt och vilka möjligheter som finns för er där ute. Att minska på lite admin, få bättre koll på säkerheten hos era Microsoft-kunder, jobba med enkel off-onboarding av användare, hålla koll på MFA och de här bitarna. Men som sagt, I will leave it to you, Gavin. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Simon. Everybody, it's a pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for taking the time. I know time is important to you, from customer support, customer service, going out there and making money. So thank you again. Today we're going to talk about, I'll give you a little introduction to Augmentt. We're going to talk about some of the pains and opportunities we see in the industry. And then the real focus is going to be how we're seeing MSPs out there selling Microsoft security as a service. And then we're going to show you how our RMM technology for SaaS and Microsoft security management enables MSPs to go out there and really scale their practices. Simon, thank you for that introduction. I'm terribly sorry my Swedish is rusty, but I must say I've been to Sweden many times as former CEO of Enable and as a young traveling person, and absolutely love the country. And I look forward to getting back and hopefully meeting many of you at an event in the foreseeable future. But as mentioned, I was co-founder and former CEO of Enable. We invented the world's first multi-tenant RMM for the channel. And the whole idea was to help the channel go from reactive to proactive to manage services as it related to devices. With Augmentt, it's the exact same strategy. We're here to help the channel from a SaaS security and SaaS management perspective, go from a reactive model where the customer calls you, says, I have a problem with an application, my Microsoft, whatever it is, and then you reactively help them fix it. So we want to help you to go from reactive to proactive, where you're monitoring, and then to manage, where you're actually managing the application and the security aspects of the application for the customers. So we're on the same journey again, but instead of device management, this is cloud service management, the journey from reactive to proactive to manage, so we can help you grow your cybersecurity revenues, deliver exceptional Microsoft security services, and overall increase your profitability. And funnily enough, we've done a whole bunch of surveys in the industry and about where MSPs want to go in 2024. And the first thing that everybody said is that they want to grow their cybersecurity revenues. The second thing is that they want to improve and scale their Microsoft managed security deliveries, how they deliver the services. And the third was improve profitability. So if any of those things are important to your business as an MSP, I think you're going to find this session to be of value, and we want to help you in all three of those areas. So the interesting thing is, if you look at where your customers are spending their money, so where are SMBs actually spending their money, the biggest area is in managed security services. So if your business is focused on growing managed security services, then guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's where your customers are spending the most money. Because if you think about it, as we all know, IT is moving to the cloud, router switches and servers are moving to the cloud. The devices, the desktop is becoming a dummy device, basically. And all the data is moving to the cloud, so it's the security. Yes, we need to secure, the devices and the network for sure, but that's the utility. It's kind of like the catalytic converter in the engine of a car. Nobody really cares what it is, just make sure it works and that it works properly and it doesn't break down on the highway. But the application layer, that's the rocket fuel that's going to help you, your business, but also your customer's business and their employees deliver their services, do their job properly, and help the company have a competitive advantage going forward. So it's really going to be the future of managed services about that application layer. And then if you're focused on the cybersecurity part, so the managed service part is growing at 13% year over year. The cloud security is growing 22% year over year. So if you're focused on managed cloud security services, guess what? You're on a rocket ship. So when you think of your business planning, your strategy, what services you want to deliver to your customers, where you want to grow your business, this is obviously the area that's going to have a lot of growth for the next number of years. So that's what we want to help you with. So the first and most important application is Microsoft Security, and we'll talk about that more in a second. You all sell it, your customers all consume it. And as an MSP, it's great. If you're a 1-2-man shop and you have, 1, 5, 6 customers, terrific. You can log in portal to portal to portal to portal to portal, and you can make sure that you configure properly and that the systems are set up properly. You probably won't check it every day. You probably won't check it every week still. You maybe most probably don't even check it every month. But you could do it if you had to do it. But the problem is if you've got 20 or 40 or 100 tenants that you're managing as an MSP, there is no way in the world you have the time to go and check, even in a reactive model, those policies and postures and security threats, and then create reporting for the customer. So the point is you're either delivering your managed services in a reactive model or proactive model. And if you're delivering it in a reactive model, then, as you know, your techs are going in manually, tenant by tenant by tenant, and it's time consuming for the tech. They don't like doing those services. It's not exciting. It's not fun. And it's not making you any money while they're doing that. And the clients end up having poor security scores because you're not auditing and looking at all of the problems and helping them improve those scores. You don't have automation in your service delivery model. You're not standardizing how your techs are delivering the security across all of your customers, which of course leads to productivity gains and profitability. And as you know, the portal is always changing, so it's a pain in the neck to make sure your people know exactly where what is. And then let's not talk about least privileged access, where you're giving a junior tech keys to the kingdom, and they can mess things up. So, and then reporting is just a nightmare, as you all know. Giving good reports, where if you're doing a managed Microsoft Security as a service, you're leveraging a technology like Augmentt. We're going to give you a demo in a couple of minutes. I finally stop talking and get to something more interesting. And you'll see that you're going to be able to automate configuration, standardize that across your customers from a security policy and posture management. You're going to be able to monitor in real time for threats and any drift in policies. You're going to be able to identify where the scores are weak and help them improve their security scores, so somebody doesn't come in behind you, do an audit, and show them how bad your current services are to the customer. And then you're going to be able to automate a lot of the tasks, free up the tech's time doing menial stuff they don't want to do, and really be able to improve the delivery of the security services. And then to be able to schedule reporting to your customers so that it goes out every month on a consistent basis, or daily or weekly, or if you're just going in to see the customer for a coffee, you can instantly do a report and go in and show them how well you're doing. So this is going to help you with the reporting grow, and with the management capabilities scale your cybersecurity practice. So I find this incredibly exciting, because to me, it's all about helping you improve the productivity and profitability and growing your business. So today, what I want to do is give you two things in this regard. The first thing is we're going to give you a Microsoft security threat auditing tool for free. It's unlimited use. You're going to be able to go to all of your customers, and we're going to show you this in a live presentation in a minute. And then I'm going to show you how our partners go out and sell this around the world. So here we go. I'm now the sales rep. I'm the MSP sales rep. I'm you, and you get to sit back and criticize my MSP sales skill. You're the end customer. So, Mr. Customer, thanks for taking the time today. Really excited to chat with ABC Company. We have this new tool that allows us to come in and audit your Microsoft environment and show where there are strengths and weaknesses in your security policies. This is a new capability that we have, and it's really important because it allows us to truly understand where there are threats and what we can do about this. And as you know, since COVID, IT has really moved to the cloud. SaaS and SaaS security has become important, and this is a new process that we're building into our managed service practice. So this audit report allows us to see on your environment, this is on your environment, that there, over the last period, there's been 166 incidents. You can see the trend at the top. You can see the bad actors coming in from all over the world, trying to penetrate your environment. Your Microsoft security scores are not as strong as they should be. There's areas to improve. And there's more, there's just telling you there's more things you're going to see in the demo below this. And then also when we look at your security policies and postures, there's areas that are weak that we would like to address, where we would like to go in and configure them, make sure the right people have the right access to the right data, and so we can really protect your environment. So we've identified a number of issues that need improvement in your environment from a security perspective. And then what we would like to be able to do once we've gone through and done the configuration is we want to do additional services to really maintain that strength. But before I get into that, I'd like to just tell you a little bit more, not just that, okay, here's the problems you have, but why is this important to you as a small business? Because many small businesses feel that, you know, I'm not at risk. That's just the big guys. But the reality is that last year there were 1 billion emails that were exposed to bad actors. So 1 billion. That's the vast majority of emails in the world, small and medium-sized businesses. And in Sweden, businesses cited that brand reputation damage was the biggest consequence of a cyber attack, followed by business and operational disruptions. And when a company gets breached, 60% of the companies that do get breached, particularly small businesses, actually don't recover from the breach. So the whole idea is let's prevent the breach, but then let's also try to contain it if it does happen. You can see the number of incidents in the last 4 years have gone up 775%, and it's happening from all over the world. Now, not just that, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening, but when you think of Microsoft, this is the most critical business application. 95% of companies use it, and it's also the most targeted because all of your employees use it within your company, and most of your employees have access to way more data than they really should, and we need to make sure that that's properly protected. So if we put in the right security management, we'll protect right off the bat against 98% of attacks, and we'll have a proper plan to protect if something does happen. So when you think of Microsoft, there is a whole ecosystem of bad actors out there that are buying lists, and they can buy a list of 400 million stolen emails and passwords for 150 euros. So think of that. Like all of Europe, basically, they can buy that whole list. And then it's not that they're going after, you know, you specifically or any one of your employees specifically or anybody, they're going after everybody. These are big lists that get put into a phishing machine, and it just starts going, and the attack is on everybody. And so the point is, if you don't have the right security measures, you will get breached eventually. And we're seeing that in the number of cases that are happening year over year. And of course, we read about it everywhere. So the point is, we want to help make sure we prevent it. We want to make sure the right people have access to the right information. We want to make sure MFA is set up properly for everybody. We want to make sure that your email has the right security on it. And we want to make sure that the sharing of data is set up properly. And these are some of the measures that we take in order to do that. So the first thing we have to do is make sure that everything is properly configured today. We may have set it up properly originally. It may have drifted from there. So we've done this audit. We're going to do a deeper audit, and then we're going to understand exactly what we need to fix. And we're going to go in and fix that for you and make sure then that it stays, because once it's configured, it can still drift and things can change. And so we need to now set up ongoing monitoring of that environment. So we'll get a notification if anything changes, or if there's drift, or if there's new threats that are coming in, and then we can respond to that accordingly. So that's easy. And then, so the whole point is we've done the audit, we've done the configuration. Now we set up the real-time monitoring so that we can remediate if something goes from adrift, and then we'll be able to provide you with ongoing reporting to show you how we're doing and how your security is doing. And you'll be getting an automated report that comes from us based on your environment every single month. And we can review that with you either monthly, quarterly, whatever your process is as an MSP. And for this, Mr. Customer, what we're doing is this is our advanced Microsoft security program. And what we're doing is we're charging an extra 10 euros per month for managed Microsoft security services. And now this is, so I'll stop for half a second. So our partners are either charging as a line item an extra 10 euros a month. So this is costing you about 30 cents per seat per month. You're charging 10 euros, incredible profitability. But the point is that they're either charging it as a line item, or they're building it into their premium security package, and then they're increasing the price of the premium security package. That's generally what we see in the market. And we have partners that are 5-person shops, 50-person shops, 2,000-person shop MSPs that use our platform. We even have SOC providers that use the platform. So we have all sorts of different pricing models based on who you are, who you're targeting, on how you might want to build this in, and we can help you with all of that. So at this point, what I'd love to do is that's kind of the sales pitch that our partners are using very successfully. As you saw, it's quite quick and elegant. It's not making any excuses for I didn't do this in the past. I have a new tool. I have new capabilities. This is a new threat and a new problem in the industry, and this is what we're doing as a best practice. So it's very important that we're finding to go out and be proactive, and do this audit, show the customer the problems, and sell them. So George, if you wouldn't mind. George, you're on mute.
Thank you, Gavin. Thanks for the introduction, and just checking everyone can see my screen okay, that the Augmentt platform is showing there. Great, thanks, Simon. Okay, so this is the Augmentt platform. Augmentt is the platform, the name of the company, and today we're going to be showing you a deep dive of our secure module, but we'll also be covering our engage and discover modules. So just at a high level, secure is all about that deep dive into Microsoft security and configuration that's going to help drive your scalable processes and efficiency. Engage is more focused on the user management piece of things, and also actually works for Google as well. So it's resolving 80% of tickets that come through for both of those top applications with the click of a button. So we'll be going through that as well. And then lastly, discover. It gives you, the MSP, a full list of all the SaaS applications your customers are using. So being able to put a spotlight on shadow IT and being able to open lots of different conversations with your clients around cost, risk, productivity, etc. But starting off with secure, you can see here that this drop-down menu, and secure is broken down into a number of different dashboards and reports that for you, the MSP. So we're going to start with the threat report here. So again, I've got my threat report. This is bringing in all of the information and sort of risk associated items with that particular tenant and generating it in this nice, clean, dynamic report. We can use the drop-down menu to flick easily to go from tenant to tenant, and we can export this as a PDF, or as Gavin mentioned, we can even schedule this to go out on a weekly, a monthly, or a quarterly basis. We can also even go as far back here as 3 months to generate more data and paint a little bit more of a picture. So going through the report, you can see here, it's allowing you to tell the story of, we have almost 700 risk detections going on in your account, Mr. Customer. There's things going up and down all the time here. You are a dentist or a manufacturing agency in Sweden. So we're not sure why we're seeing activity coming from America, from Brazil, from Russia. Your identity score is not great. Your secure score definitely needs improvement. And here's some of the types of risks that we're seeing in terms of risk detections, whether it's things associated with user MFA or policy updates. Edith, you're actually the CEO of this company, right? You can see here, you're actually the second most targeted account or user as part of your Microsoft setup. So definitely something to consider. In terms of the risk detections, we can actually break this down, if you're interested, Mr. Customer, into the who, what, where, when of all these different risks, and we can categorize this and filter it by severity, location, or even by user. So again, there, we can see here, generate different user reports. But we also understand that for MSPs, if you get a little too into the weeds sometimes, people, the eyes glaze over a little bit. So we want to keep things high level and focus on some core principles of security, MFA being arguably one of the most important. And we can see here that there's one person at this company, Bruce Wayne, who does not have MFA turned on. So we want to remediate and fix that immediately. And also, Mr. Customer, did you know that there's actually 6 different accounts here that are showing as inactive within your system? So whether these people have left the company or there's another issue going on here, this is something that we want to investigate and offboard and remove these accounts if necessary. So what this report allows you, the MSP, to do is show and highlight the risk, and that's what a lot of companies are making decisions on these days, right? Is those kind of risk-based decisions. And ultimately leaves you in the driver's seat saying, how do you want me to handle the risk that I've uncovered for you today? If you want me to fix this for you, great. We have this cybersecurity program, or it's an extra 10 euros a user, whatever your preference or pricing model may be. Fantastic. If no, that's no problem either, Mr. Customer. Please just sign this denial of service form or this risk acceptance letter. And then that's when the light bulb goes off and they understand, well, what do you mean risk acceptance letter? Well, Mr. Customer, someone has to be responsible for your Microsoft security. I'm identifying what needs to change and what needs to be fixed. I can provide that service, but if you don't want me to, I'm not going to take responsibility. And as we've shown as part of this presentation, breaches are an all-time high. And if something bad happens in 6 months, it's not fair for you to come and point the finger back at me. So put the onus on them to make that decision. Now, once the time comes to actually start securing these accounts, Augmentt is very good at being able to scale and increase efficiencies of your techs, because again, we've got our fully multi-tenant system here, and what we can do is actually come into all companies. This is our demo environment, so we only have one in here at the minute, but our all companies view, all your tenants would be stacked in here, and it's color coded, so you can see at a glance what needs to be done for each tenant, and then actually click into that specific company. And here we have the list of all the different various Microsoft security postures, and it's showing you what's compliant, what's not compliant. Maybe there's particular policies that as part of your organization, you actually don't want to measure or want to ignore so that it's not impacting the score in a negative way. But ultimately, this is another report that you can export and schedule to go out. So it's helping your clients understand, well, what is user and admin MFA? What's the difference and why is it important? And if we implement it, what kind of increase to my security is it going to create? So nice and clean, easy for end users who are non-technical to understand. But then within Augmentt, we actually can go one level deeper. So now I'm actually in the security posture policy dashboard. I'm looking at user MFA. I know that Bruce Wayne doesn't have it on because he's non-compliant. We have all our accounts here, so I can actually see who is and isn't protected. I want to zone in on Bruce and fix this immediately. So what we want to do is just head over to our configure tab here. And now we've got different options to fix this problem from within the Augmentt portal. We don't need to actually go into the Microsoft portal, find Bruce separately and do it from there. So we can do something like use the Azure per user, find Bruce, click his name, and with the click of a button, enforce MFA. And that's part of our engage functionality, which I'll go into more detail in just a second. The really cool thing about this feature, though, is we also have access to all the conditional access policies. So we can see there's a couple of different ones set up here. Maybe we add Bruce to one of those conditional access policies, or maybe you want to create a brand new conditional access policy. Again, this is something that can be done from within Augmentt, making it easy for you to manage, maintain, and report on MFA. Now, going back to the security posture as well, we also have this little button here for quick baselining, which is some kind of general low-hanging fruit, I guess you would say, when it comes to security best practices. And again, with the click of a button, we're just going to make sure these things are either enabled and disabled across the board. So again, saving you time, and meaning that your L1 technicians can kind of go through tenant by tenant and begin to raise the security levels of all of your Microsoft clients across the board with ease. Gavin, is there anything else you wanted to comment on the security posture?
No, I think that's great. Yeah, you can set up the security posture by individual company, by groups of company. You can choose templates. It's incredibly flexible to help you standardize your security configuration across all of your customers. Or if you have healthcare customers that need one type of configuration and manufacturing that need another, then you can again do that, and you can see the CIS scores and how they're impacted. And we're going to be adding in the NIST scores also.
Mm-hmm. The next thing I'll jump to is the MFA report, which is a specific dashboard on MFA. So again, we can go to our all companies view, and not just on the security posture, but specifically for MFA, I can look at all my companies and I can see sort of what's the level of MFA. So you can see here legal is at 83%. We want to get that up to 100, but also we can see the types of authentication methods they're using. So is it a security key? Are they using a particular application? And again, from here, we've got some nice pie charts at the top for all of our companies, so we can see as an MSP, what does MFA look like across our entire IT estate, and then actually jump in to the tenant level where we can again see all of the different users, their license type, their role, MFA configuration. So are they using M365 Authenticator? Or are they using another app like Duo? Most importantly, are they protected? Yes or no? And what is the status of that protection? So for example, here we can see that Aaron is protected. He's not actually using Microsoft Authenticator, but he is using Duo, but he's currently shown as locked out of Duo. Okay. Well, what about Bob? Well, Bob here is protected. He's got the M365 Authenticator working, no problem there. Well, again, Bruce, the guy that we're focusing on as part of this demo, unknown, not sure, something we need to fix. And then again, going back to the security posture, that's something that's easy to do. But whenever you start dealing with really large companies, and if you have a lot of different tenants, this report, a lot of MSPs love it because it gives them that snapshot purely of MFA. And more importantly, as compliance begins to ramp up all over the world, and some of those, those governance pieces begin to have a little teeth, there's probably going to be instances in the future where as an MSP, you're required to give evidence as maybe part of an audit or a check to say, you said that you are protecting these customers. You said they have MFA. Can you prove it? Well, yes, Mr. Auditor, that's no problem. Here's my report from December 2023. And as you can see at that time, yes, Becky did have MFA on. Next question. So you can begin to sort of build up and kind of protect yourself in the future by taking these snapshots on a regular basis, exporting it to the customer, exporting it to yourself, and kind of building those MFA logs as well. Now, the last two things I'll show you in Secure is our alerts. So for those of you who are familiar with Microsoft Alerts, you will be painfully aware of how noisy they can be. Microsoft Alerts is an incredibly powerful tool, but the problem is they haven't really thought about MSPs whenever they're building it. So as an MSP, yes, you will get an alert to say there's been a risky, successful login from this particular country, but that will probably get buried in all of the other alerts that Microsoft is generating. Things like this update was completed, this patch was deployed, this MFA was challenged, but nothing actually happened. And so it creates a huge amount of alerts per tenant and per user. And then, as per Gavin's slide earlier, if you multiply that across dozens of tenants, it just becomes overwhelming. And no one really wants to pay attention to it because it's too noisy. So what we've done at Augmentt is our alerts actually sits on top of Microsoft. And what it gives you the ability to do as the MSP is per all companies, or again, on a company by company basis, you can go in, you can see the different alerts available as part of Microsoft. And now you can begin to actually filter and categorize these alerts according to what you want to receive in your PSA. So for example, we can say something like a suspicious browser activity. Yes, I want to receive a notification, but only if it's of a high severity. So if Microsoft gets an alert that says there's suspicious browser activity, but it's only low or medium, I don't want a ticket created. And in this way, you can see, this is just an example demo environment, but you can see that 213 alerts have been created. Only 100 emails have been sent, maybe for logging or update purposes, but no actual tickets have been created. Okay, so again, creating efficiencies, saving your team time and reducing the noise. Now, the other cool thing is that whenever you do receive an alert that you want to act on, you can come back here into the alerts tab. And then again, using our engage functionality, which we'll come on to, you can come down, the alerts will pop up here, and you select the alert, maybe something like user MFA that you want. And then you can do things like instantly reset a password, block or unblock sign in, and sign them out of all the apps. So again, in that way, this kind of almost acts like a soft light where an L1 technician can get an alert from Augmentt that says this risky thing's happening, and simply with the click of a button, hop in, select the account and lock it down. And then have someone senior take a look and run diagnostics after that. But again, we know time is important whenever those risky things happen. So lock down the account immediately. You can do that with an Augmentt. You don't need to go to the Microsoft portal. Now, the last thing is the summary report, which is basically the opposite of the threat report. It's that this is what I'm paying you for report. So as Gavin mentioned, when it comes to the pricing conversation, I feel like at a time just in the general global economy, prices are going up everywhere. It can be difficult for MSPs to come and say, hey, I'm raising your prices. Your customer is going to want to ask why and what more are they getting? And so being able to show that risk report to say there's things that need fixed here. The world as we know it is at an all-time high for breaches. So this is why we're increasing the prices. But not only that, I'm actually going to be able to show you on an ongoing basis, whether it's monthly, quarterly, what I'm doing behind the scenes. So we can come in here and say, actually, Mr. Customer, I've prevented these incidents. I'm flattening your risk line. We're getting your security score and identity scores increased. MFA is getting up to 100%. Here's some of the risky sign-ins that we've intercepted, or some of the risky user detections that we've intercepted. We're blocking these IP addresses and blacklisting these countries. And actually already, we're only on February 7th here, so only 1 week in, and I've already prevented 12 incidents. Okay, so this is what I'm doing behind the scenes. This is what you're paying me for. So that's secure in a nutshell. I'll quickly hop into Engage and then show you guys the license report and discover. So as I mentioned with Engage, this is allowing you to kind of resolve some of the most common tickets that come through for both Google and Microsoft. So I hop into my software client here. You can see we've got Google available. All your users get imported, and let's say Michael or Della, there's a ticket submitted. Maybe Michael needs his password reset. I come in, I tick the user, and now I have access to this functionality, or I can use this menu down here if you prefer. And it's as easy as ticking the user, ticking the thing you want to do, and then Augmentt has already baked in the best practices for you, and that's based on the recommendations and the guidance we've received from our MSP advisory board, who we've been working with since the company began. So you can see here, are we auto-generating or manually creating? Well, if I want to manually create a password, we got rules to make sure that it's actually a good, strong password. So I'm just going to auto create this. I'm also going to make sure that the user changes their password when they first log in. And then am I sending this to me, or am I sending it to direct someone at this specific company? Maybe I'm sending it to Michael's boss or someone over there. So maybe I'm sending it to Brian. Reset password, done. So in real time, ticket comes in. Michael needs a password reset. Michael, ticking a password reset, password, done. And you can have, the nice thing about this is you can use this for co-managed arrangements. So you can actually give access on a tenant by tenant and user level to companies as part of your co-managed agreement. But more importantly, you can now have your L1 technicians or even non-technical staff, office administrators, summer students or interns that are coming only to work for a couple of months. You can have them begin to resolve tickets in Augmentt. Another example I'll show, I'll just use Della here. Della's leaving the company, so we want to remove them at the end of the week, maybe, or later on today. So I'm going to tick Della, and we've already got all of the best practices baked in, okay, to remove users. So we're automatically resetting the password, automatically suspending them from sign-in, etc. And again, this is something that we can do in Microsoft as well. So if we go to Fabdul, he's leaving. All the best practices are baked in. Resetting the password, signing him out of all the applications, blocking him from signing in, and then doing things like setting up a shared mailbox. Okay, so making sure that people have access to anyone who tries to email Fabdul in the future, and then setting up forwarding rules so that people don't have to check that mailbox. It automatically comes through to, say, Brendan here. No problem. Set that up. Hit next. Check everything, delete user, done. And again, this is from conversations that we had with MSPs that said, you know, whenever you need to offboard a user, what are the steps that you want to take that are secure, that are a best practice for security? And so that's what we've implemented. And again, you can have your L1 students, whatever, use Augmentt to get that done. Do you have anything else on Engage?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the whole platform, and George has mentioned it, is we have a technology advisory board of users, and these are MSP partners. Some of them are 10-person shops. Some of them are 100-person MSSPs and larger. And there's 150 of these security-focused MSPs who contribute to our technology advisory board, and we have monthly meetings with them. They see the product roadmap. They give us feedback on their user experience and what they would like to see constantly improved, and the direction of where the product is going. So the crowdsourcing that we get from advanced managed security service providers in the development of the platform is truly fantastic. And when you become a partner, if you want to join the advisory board, we'd be more than happy to have you included in that. And we actually have a business advisory board and a technology advisory board.
Yeah, and another cool thing I'm just going to show you guys now is our license report, which was actually, again, based on feedback that we got from MSPs, a very familiar story that might resonate with some of you. Again, Microsoft is not inherently multi-tenant, and so at the end of every month, there is often always a change in licenses. Have you bought more? Have you upgraded? And whoever deals with operations and finance at your company probably wants to see those numbers, but again, it's difficult for them to get access to. So what do? They ask the technician, hey, can you go and tell me how many Microsoft licenses we have, what different types, what we're buying them for, what we're selling them for, who's got them? And the technician then has to go into Microsoft and go tenant by tenant by tenant by tenant and pull all that information, manually create a report to share that so you can do your billing reconciliation at the end of the month. Very, very annoying and irritating to do. That's why we've created this license report. So again, you have your multi-tenancy, so you can look at it from an all companies point of view, or you can drill into any of the tenants you want. But what it's showing here is all the licenses that you have. So whether it's a business standard or an enterprise or whatever it may be, the number of tenants associated with each of those, the users that are using them, and any changes that happen. So you can see here, for example, this month 9 has been added for the Microsoft Power Automate Free. And then again, you can come down, look at tenant by tenant, So Acme Legal here, who's got what, number of licenses enabled, and again, just have that nice clean kind of interface to show you exactly tenant by tenant who's got what, who upgraded from standard to premium. So now that standard is free. Has that been reassigned to someone? Can you absorb that back into your master portal and put it to another company? All those bits and pieces from within one handy user dashboard. So definitely if there's a technician who is stuck doing that manual process at the end of the month, I think that might be their favorite part of Augmentt. It's definitely going to save them a lot of time and hassle. Now, the last module I want to show is Discover, which is more broad focused, but still very, very cool. And MSPs are doing some great things with the data that they're able to get from Discover. So Discover provides, as you can see here, a list of all the applications that a specific client or company is using. And then again, because we're multi-tenant, you can get the all companies view. So see what the usage is like across all of your tenants, or you can even drill into marketing, legal, whoever you might have. Now, how this works is we have a lightweight agent that gets deployed usually by your RMM to the end user. And what it's doing is parsing out the web traffic and setting that against our database of over 22,000 applications and seeing what hits. And so, well, why is that important? Well, number one, what we have here is we want to be able to filter that information so we can get more insight. So we can create these reports, we can filter them by department, by job title, or even by specific employee. So if you know that, say, Simon here on the call is always signing up to apps and using things that he shouldn't, we can actually generate a report that specifically looks at Simon's usage. Now, the apps, when they come in, Augmentt automatically categorizes them with approval status, risk score, high, medium, and low, and productivity score, high, medium, and low. But you, the MSP, can change those manually and also set up global rules based on your preferences and experiences with those applications. Now, once we actually get down to the application list, again, we can filter this by status, by risk, by productivity. My favorite thing is actually the usage, the days active, because what this shows is the most popular or least popular applications. And this is just factual data that you can then share with your customer. So, for example, maybe you want everyone to standardize on Microsoft and say, guys, I want you to be using Microsoft. Please start using Teams. And your customer says, well, no, everyone uses Slack. Everyone loves Slack, so we need to stay on Slack. You can use Augmentt to go in and say, well, actually, yeah, that's true. Slack is your third most popular app. So I can see that. And I can actually see who is using Slack. How often we can see here most of the employees are actually using this every day. So fair enough, we've proven that. But while we're here, Mr. Customer, should people be using Dropbox? No, Mr. MSP, we have a policy that everyone signs that says you're not allowed to use Dropbox. Oh, that's interesting, because I've got Dropbox that's actually pinged here on this report, and I can go in and show you that Montel, Jack, and Brantley are all using Dropbox. And in fact, Montel's using it every single day. And because we have the agent, we're actually able to differentiate between if it's the browser version of an application or the desktop version of an application. And that's important to share as well, because if someone's maybe used the browser version once, maybe they had to go and pick something up that a client left there, a large file, a video, something like that. But if someone has it installed on their work computer and is using it every day, well, that's a different story altogether and something that warrants further investigation. And so the other things you can do as well, that's definitely a security focused one, but you can start talking about cost savings. Mr. Customer, why are you using 5 applications to do the same thing? Mr. Customer, you're paying for 50 licenses of Salesforce, but I can show you that only 5 people are using it on a monthly basis. And last week you denied my enhanced security services because you said you didn't have money. Well, I'm going to show you this report where you can actually save money. And if I can save you $500 a month, can you give me $300 of that savings? You're still going to save money, but now you're going to be more secure. So the best thing I've seen an MSP do with these reports is a good, better, best approach. Good is, here is your SaaS usage information. Better is, here is your SaaS usage information. Let me explain it to you so you fully understand. And best is, here's your SaaS usage information. I'm going to explain it to you. And now I'm going to give you my recommendations of what you should be doing and how we can fix it. And so this, again, is something you can add on as a different service, or even supply as a free audit, or even start charging for audits on a regular basis. Gavin, did you have anything you wanted to add on the Discover data and the shadow IT piece?
Yeah, can you show the compliance tab?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea behind this is another look at the same data, and what it's showing you is the applications and what are they compliant for. So if you have a healthcare customer or financial service customer, or you want to know if the application is GDPR compliant, you can see that in the compliance column on the almost right-hand side. So you can see the compliance of all the applications. You can see if they have SSO, if they support MFA, when the last breach was of the application, and how many, and of course you can see how many users on it. So this is really nice from a compliance perspective. And what I say with the Discover audit report is this is now allowing you to truly do cloud security services, where you're looking at all of the application usage, not just on-prem desktop stuff, but all of the application, cloud and local. And you're able to say to the customer, look, Mr. Customer, we have this ability now to do an audit so you can understand exactly what applications are used, what are compliant, not compliant, where your corporate data is stored. We'd like to do this for you. Terrific, great, go ahead. Great. Can you give me a list of the applications you're using? Sure, I'm a 50-person law firm. We use 30 apps. You do the audit. You have the list of their approved applications they've given you. When you do the audit, you go in and you mark all of those as approved, and then you go back to them, and inevitably there's 3 times as many applications than used. So here's your approved, Mr. Customer. And then, George, if you go back to the other screen, here's all of your non-compliant applications. So some of these probably should be approved, and let's understand which ones should be approved so we can monitor the usage based on that. But then these other applications, these are not compliant with your industry, these particular ones, and you can see that based on the compliance report. And where's this data being stored? When the employee leaves, what happens with your corporate data? Does it leave with them? That's not proper security policy. So understanding who's using what application and where your corporate data is being stored, and if the application has been breached in the last 60, 90, 360 days, whatever it is critical. And if you're doing cybersecurity training for your companies, then you should also be training them on what applications should and should not be used and where that corporate data is being stored. So to me, this is a critical part of being that trusted IT advisor. And remember, IT is not just about devices anymore, because your customers' device spend is flat and will continue to be flat. What's growing 25% per year is their spend on applications. And so that's where you have to be helping them. That's where the corporate data is going. That's the rocket ship for your company and their companies. And you have to be helping them understand their application usage and the security of those applications. You do the deep management of Microsoft, and you help them with the understanding as a trusted IT advisor and the optimization of their cloud application stack. And I'll suggest to you here and now that in 5 years from now, the majority of your business will be around helping your customers understand their application usage and helping them manage their core business applications, from onboarding, offboarding, MFA management, security management, and administration of those applications. So we want to help you on that journey, just like the early journey of managed services. It was a journey back then to go from break fix to proactive to manage. We're on the same journey, and the Discover is incredibly powerful to help you have that full view of all application and cloud service usage. And then the Microsoft allows you to do the deep security policy and posture management and administration of it all in one platform. And then we'll continue to grow with you and help you to expand your cloud security service practice.
Yeah, the last thing I'd add to that as well, Gavin, is 100% is I think the future is going to be about just helping to connect the dots for your clients and helping them see things in a simplified view. And Augmentt makes it very easy to tell that story. This new compliance report, you can scroll down and we'll pick on Dropbox, for example. Oh, Mr. Crosser, did you know Dropbox got breached earlier this year? Well, I don't care. Why would that matter? We don't use Dropbox. Well, actually, I'm just going to hop over to this report. These users are actually using Dropbox. Oh, well, they shouldn't be. Well, I can show you that they are. And also I'm going to wager that they're probably using their same corporate email address and their same corporate password. So that might not be a problem for you in Dropbox, but it definitely will be for Microsoft if they're using the same credentials. And if we hop into Secure and look at the MFA report, oh, what do we see here? Some of those employees don't even have MFA on. So you can quickly see how the dominoes are going to fall here. So let's talk security and make sure that we're tightening things up. So if there's no more questions, I'll stop the demo there. And I think Gavin has a couple of slides to wrap up with. And then if anyone does have any questions, please just pop them in the chat or raise your hand. Simon, I see you've got your hand raised there.
Yes, I have one. It's around, I know that we spoke about using this as a sales tool for the partners out there. So they can run a license report, right? And what else can they do in terms of, highlighting the security threats within the tenants of this specific partner, for example?
So that threat report that we were looking at that does the initial audit of the customer's environment shows them all of the issues that are happening, the geo map with all of the issues, the security scores, this exact report. This is a freemium. So if you,
threat report.
Say you want to buy exactly the threat report. If you want to buy, you have 40 tenants and you buy for them, but you have another 100 prospects or another 100 other non-managed customers that you sell Microsoft licenses to, but you don't have a managed service contract with, you can go and do audits on unlimited number of customers so that you can show them this report, show them where they have problems. And again, upsell them premium Microsoft security services. So this is a freemium application. We're giving all of our partners, all of you, this tool to go and run audits on all of your customers, all of your prospects for free. Whether you buy anything from us or not today, you're getting this tool for free, and it's part of the platform. So this is what we want to give to you. And once you become a partner, you have unlimited use of it. And George, could you pull up the slide of the deck with just the pricing so we can? I know nobody cares about pricing, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So our you can see at the bottom, our normal pricing is on a per seat basis. So 74 cents per seat per month for Secure, 46 cents for Engage, 46 cents for Discover per user per month. But what we've done is we've set up a site license package. So depending on how many users you have that you want to manage, you can see if, for example, if you have 1,000 users, then you can buy 1,000 user site license package that includes the Secure, the Engage, and the Discover module. So 1,000 seats of all three of them for €275 a month. So that comes out to about 27 cents a month per user. And again, our partners for all three modules, and our partners are charging €10 per month, either uplifting their premium program or selling it as a line item normally. And then, yes, we have some partners who build it in because the productivity gains are so great. And then they go and deliver the reports to the customer and say, this is an additional service we've added into our premium package, and we're going to be now increasing our prices by €10 per month. So same sort of thing, just different ways of doing it. And we have all the sales and marketing material, again, with our business advisory partners. We've got all the email marketing material, fly sheets, call scripts, web content, all of this kind of stuff. I will apologize in advance. It is in English. But all the content is there that MSPs can use to take to their customer base. So this is a big part. We have a thing we call Augmentt Academy, which is a portal which we continually create all this content for partners to use, either web or webinar or email, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all there. So we're very hands-on. If you want a trial, we'd love to set you up in a trial. That's the best way. Try the product out. We'll actually set you up and set up a couple of customers with you. Import those customers. It's dead easy. Doesn't take any time at all. And then if you like it, that's great. We have a fantastic CSP integration where we can auto-import anybody who you sell Microsoft licenses to. We can auto-import all of those in a bulk import. It'll discover all the tenants, discover all the users, import the last 30 days of security data, so you can instantly run that audit report against all of your customers, regardless of how many licenses you have with us. So we'd love to help you out and work with you. I'd like to thank everybody for the time today. I know we're just at time, but if you have any questions, additional questions, please.
I think Nicholas had a question.
Yeah, we have one from Nicholas.
Yes, thank you for a great presentation. Very interested of your product, but I have some concerns about it. Where is your platform operated and stored?
So the data right now is in the US. We are going to be opening up a data center in Germany. We are GDPR compliant in how we handle the data. So we do meet GDPR. 24% of our customers are actually in Europe, Australia, New Zealand. So we have gone through the GDPR data compliancy, and we are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant also. And certified.
Your company, who is the owners of the company?
Myself and Derek Belair, my partner, who was actually my first employee at Enable back in 2000. We are the principals of the company.
And you don't have any investors or something like that?
We have some friends and families. Actually, funnily enough, we have a number of large MSPs who got a demo and called me up and said, "Gavin, we want to participate in this. It's going to be huge." So we do have some angel investors.
Okay, and then how are they involved in your company?
Not at all. They're just angel investors, private investors.
Okay.
Other than being customers, some of them.
Okay. So how can I say, what doors do we need to open to communicate with your platform between the tenants?
So you actually, with the Secure and Engage, you just have to have the Microsoft administration credentials. So as you probably do for all of your customers today. And then we use a token security protocol to exchange the data. And then with Discover, it's a read-only agent that gets deployed via your RMM solution.
And Nicholas, I would add as part of the, if you choose to activate a trial with Augmentt, unlike a lot of other companies, our step one is we will have a call with you and your team and actually walk you through setting up and configuring Augmentt together. That way, at the end of that call, that's day one of your trial, and you have a fully configured operational Augmentt system where it's been deployed and set up internally, as well as helping deploy to a couple of your clients. So you have real world data in there as well. And then that way you can actually use the full trial period to gather data, actually use and play with the platform, as opposed to, troubleshooting issues or things not being 100% configured. So step one, call one, we make sure everything's set up for you and your team.
Okay. What about, you mentioned the business premium licensing model. How does your product work with lower licenses, for instance, Exchange Online or Business Basic? do these clients need to have some add-on licenses to be able to work with your platform?
No. We so of course Microsoft Business the premium licenses have additional functionality built into it. But what we've done is we've built our own engine so that we can import the purview logs and impossible travel and all that kind of stuff for business basic. So the platform, again, that was one of the big things that we got from our advisory board is we need to be able to help MSPs with their customers that are still on business basic. Our advice is over time, you want to be able to get your customers up onto P1, P2 type of licensing, but our product works with the whole range.
Okay.
Nicholas, with this report, you can actually see which sort of postures are associated with different licenses as well. So it makes it easier for you if you are trying to upsell licenses to kind of highlight, well, Mr. Customer, this is why I would recommend moving to Business Premium, etc., because there's some additional things that is included. However, with your Business Basic, here are the things that we're implementing and securing for you today. So again, with the security posture report, it just helps create that clean report to share with your customers, so it's easy for them to understand.
Okay. I have more questions, but I don't really have more time. But I'm looking forward to additional meetings. Looking to on your tool. I need to jump back into the next meeting here. So thank you for your presentation. It looks very good.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. And again, we're here to support you. And Gridheart, as our Swedish partner, is also here to support you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Gavin and George. And tack
Thanks
alla
very much,
andra
Simon.
som har varit med idag.